My Impact, Influence and Confidence programme is designed with talented women in mind to engage, inspire and build self-belief at work. For more information, go to bitfamous.co.uk. Hi, welcome back. This time on the Penny Haslam podcast, I listened to Steve Jobs on a recording, not live, obviously. And I was thinking, what's the point of telling this story? Got you so far? Dropping out of university. Calligraphy? What? So here's a bit of how-to for you when it comes to speaking and presenting. A bit of an advanced idea on sharing information. And I was reminded of this trick. And I thought, well, do you know what? I really want to share that with you because it's so useful. Even if you can't deploy it straight away, at least you'll know the theory of it. And I don't know how to describe it really. It's about bringing a bit of analysis into your stories. Now, ideally in a keynote, an extended talk, a short talk, presentation, anything, you'll include a story. A bit of story information, maybe a time when you did something, or maybe a time you received some information, or maybe something from your career that you did in the early days. Anything that's a story that brings a story to life, paints a picture, is really useful. But what's also useful at the back of that story, off the back of it, at the end of it, is to do some analysis. So what was the learning? What did it mean to you? So this is best described in an example. So I had a client a couple of weeks ago, coaching client. We had a Zoom 90-minute session to help her prepare for a fireside interview. She's the director of a chain of hotels in the Lake District, and they are gorgeous hotels. We're talking fluffy robes, we're talking outdoor pools with a bit of steam coming off them. In the photograph, we're talking hillside with a lake view. Oh, they're lovely. I really want to go. Anyway, that's another story. So she has got a top job and she's part of a family business as well. So she's taken up an invitation to go to an event that was all about family businesses, and she was going to be interviewed up on the stage, and so wanted to make the most of it. She hadn't done this sort of thing before. So when I asked her about herself, she told me some information. Great. She told me that she'd been to a school outside the area, the region, and she'd come back to the Lake District after doing a university degree and working for another firm. And she'd done this, that, and the other and had a bit of exposure to corporate life, but then she'd come back to the family firm. All really interesting. Great. But so what? And I think that's what I'm talking about now, is the storytelling is one thing, but it's the analysis that will help lift any information. So if you deal in stories at all, think about how you might lift the learning point. So what's the point of saying all of that? And yes, we can hear about her career and how she went to a boarding school outside the area to do her A-levels. And that was the first experience of leaving the Northwest region and leaving the family home and the business, and then spreading her wings. Great. So what was the learning? Well, what I learned in corporate life, which I'm now able to bring back to the business that I run now, is team working, taking orders from people, leading a team, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the analysis is really important to share. If you can visualize this will help you. So imagine you're the raconteur. Yeah, you're at the fireside. You're in fact, you're leaning on the mantelpiece and you've got one elbow on it, and you're telling an amazing anecdote from a time when you did a thing that paints a picture. Brilliant story, yeah. And you're leaning and you're reliving the story as well. You're telling it and you're taking everyone back to those moments. You then, in speaking terms, mentally or physically, need to come away from that area and turn back to it and look at it. And what can we learn from that? What's the take home? What is the purpose of that story? What did it mean to me? I listened to Steve Jobs on a recording, not live, obviously, doing a similar sort of thing. And he went a really long distance with his story. And I was thinking, what's the point of telling this story with my critics head on? But the story was along the lines of, I didn't have much as a kid, and I went to university, and I was the first in my family to go. But I didn't like the course I was doing, and I dropped out, and I felt ashamed and embarrassed by that. And I actually ended up doing a kind of side hobby course, which was calligraphy. I know, it's weird, isn't it? You kind of listen to that story and go, Steve Jobs, dropping out of university, got you so far. Calligraphy? What? Anyway, so he does some calligraphy. And that's the story. And he goes into quite a lot of detail about it, about how he felt about telling his mum and dad that he'd dropped out of university, etc. But then what he does is he steps away from leaning on the mantelpiece and telling the story. And he turns to the story and almost strokes his chin and says, and if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have thought about bringing in different fonts to Apple and the importance of using different fonts in our documents and the way we design stuff. And because I understood the diversity of calligraphy and the different fonts and what they made you feel, I translated that over to Apple. I mean, this is like, wow. What have I done in my life that I've translated into my business or my career that's really left an imprint or had an impact on the way I do things now? So it's a lovely way of bringing your audience along with you, telling a story that they can enjoy and go, oh, right, oh, nosy. Oh, and for the director that I was talking, about, and my coaching client, she sent away to boarding school to do her A-levels, and then she got a job at the co-op in the funeral care. Weird, oh, right, did you? Well, what did that teach you? So then we'd step away from the moment of storytelling. We'd do analysis with our hand on our chin, maybe stroking the chin. What did it teach me? What have I brought from that to what I'm doing now? It's a brilliant, brilliant way of adding some value to your talk, and also helps people understand what you do now and how you help, which is really important as well. Of course, if you're in front of an audience having a fireside chat, you don't want just to be reminiscing about your school days. That's just pleasant. Whereas bringing some information, bringing some analysis helps keep the story alive, and it's more rounded. So fireside, mantelpiece raconteur, and then chinny stroking analysis. That's what you're after. I don't know what the term for that is. I'm going to work on that. It might be something like raconteur chinny stroking moment. Hopefully you'll get the idea. Let me know. hello@bitfamous.co.uk. I'll see you soon. My third book is coming out in 2024. It's all about confidence at work and in life. And as you'd expect from me, there are lots of stories and ideas to help you build confidence, whether it's for yourself or for others. It might be colleagues, teammates, friends and family. Head to pennyhaslam.co.uk/confidence-book.